Hi everyone and welcome back to Zero Forma Builds. Finally we are talking about Mesa. I was trying to make two builds for you guys, excuse me, even though most of you will only use one of them. But I thought the second build, which is the first one that we will show, does have an impact as well. It can be really useful. So let's talk about build number 2. To achieve this, we use Deadeye as an aura, mainly because we get 14 points on top, so we don't have to use a Forma, which is quite awesome. So yeah, the basics: Vitality for some health, always a good thing. Streamline and Flow for some energy and for some efficiency. Then we are using Primed Continuity and Constitution. You can swap this out for normal continuity, of course, for some duration, and Stretch and Augur Reach for some range. We top it off with Power Drift. This is only here so we can get a little bit more of the damage reduction from Shatter Shield. So this does focus around Shooting Gallery, as you can see here, almost 55 seconds. And a radius of 28 meters. This will disarm enemies or jam their guns, and they can't do anything against us, which is awesome. We also get 92% damage reduction on our Shatter Shield, and it does last for 45.75 seconds. That is pretty awesome. Those two are a crowd control and a damage reduction ability, which is awesome. I did run around with Rubico Prime because I do use Mesa a lot in the Plains of Eidolon, right, for some bounties, and secondaries we are running the Twin Grakatas. The regulators are modded for corrosive damage, but we will talk about them in the next build. So this build focuses around damage reduction as well as crowd control, and to demonstrate that, I'm sorry, I'm a bit off today, I'm really sorry. We do want to get rid of the butchers. What we want some corrupted enemies, but we want some... Let's take some heavy gunners, like 4 of them, as well as 4 lancers. We have them on level 50, which is okay. So what you want to do is press your 2 for your Shooting Gallery, press your 3 for your Shatter Shield, which allows you to get some damage reduction. And as you can see, when we go in, the guns are jammed, these guys can't do anything, and you can just pick them off at will, which is awesome. So yeah, that's the basic gist of Mesa as a crowd control frame. Of course, Twin Grakatas, they are just a favorite of mine. They are not the most damaging secondaries, but I just love them, right? So yeah, that is what you can do with Mesa as a crowd control frame. And you might wonder, why do you not have a melee on here? That is because of her passive. If we go into abilities, passive, you can shoot dual-wielded sidearms 15% faster and reload single-handed sidearms 25% faster as well. And you gain 50 bonus health when not using melee weapons. It's not a lot, and most of the time I would rather run a melee weapon, but in the Plains I am good without them. So let's jump into the best build for Mesa that you can have without a Forma. Well, maybe not the best, but that one works extremely well for me, so let's take a look at it. We are once again using Deadeye, so we can get the 14 points extra. We're using Vitality again, of course, for some health, but after that we're using Flow for more energy, Streamline, and Fleeting Expertise. So we have the max amount of efficiency. You can... Basically, you could get another Streamline in here on rank 3, I guess. But yeah, it's okay. We then use Primed Continuity to cancel out our hit in duration that we take from Fleeting Expertise, as well as Augur Message. So our duration gets bumped up to 119% instead of 95, right? We then use Intensify, which is not that needed, I guess, but I like to have it on, and we are using the Augment Mesa's walls. Note, if you do not have the augment, put stretch into here. All that the augment does is allow you to move around at 50% of your movement speed, but you can roll, which make it fast. Stretch has the good thing that it does help you on the field of view on Peacemaker. It's on 15% when reaching max fire rate. And if you put stretch in here, it doesn't affect it. Oh, sorry, okay. But it will affect your shooting gallery and stuff, which is awesome. But for the purpose of how I run the build, I use Mesa's Waltz in here, which is quite important for me. For the regulators, without Forma, this is the build I use. I use a Hornet Strike, which is on rank 8. You can max this out, of course, you have 2 more capacity left. Then Barrel Diffusion and Lethal Torrent for multi-shot and fire rate and multi-shot. Pistol Gambit and Target Cracker for crit damage and crit chance. And then I switch around between Convulsion and Pathogen rounds to gain corrosive damage, or when I'm in the plains, I have Convulsion and Heated Charge for some radiation. Since we are fighting against Corrupted, we will leave it on the corrosive build. And this build is all about your 4, right? So let's simulate these guys. What I like to do is press my 2 and my 3 as well, so we have damage reduction and some crown control on the ready. Get in, press your 4, and start shooting these guys. As you can see, we can move around, we can roll, which is awesome. And as you see, level 50 enemies, they just die. They die really fast. So what if we put them on level 125? Can we still manage them? I would like to get my damage reduction up, as well as my crowd control before we jump into this. Then press our 4 and start firing. As you can see, once you reach max fire rate, those guys do die rather quickly. You have to adjust your crosshair quite a bit to make sure to hit them, because as you can see, the 15 degrees field of view kicks in, but those were level 125 enemies. No problem for Mesa, as you saw there, and I guess that's the build that I use the most. Since killing is more important than crowd control in today's meta of Warframe. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed these 2 builds, especially the last one. It is pretty neat. And if you go ahead and switch back to your radiation setup, it works extremely well in the plains of Eidolon. And you can farm some bounties with that rather quickly, which is absolutely awesome. But that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed those builds, and I will see you next time. Thanks again, and as always guys, take care. Bye.